A very good afternoon. Welcome to this edition of the platform or the platform where expression is guaranteed. My name is Elijah Kelvin Murungi, and we want to welcome you to this show, and particularly this edition for the Sunday of 50th, that is 2023. So today on this show, we're going to be streaming live, that is on Facebook, Elkem Television, and then on YouTube, it is Elkem Media Services. But just before we get into the discussion, I'm going to be able to introduce my panel or our panel to you. Just at my extreme left, that is the Honorable Mayor, His Worship, that is Amanyire Joshua Amanyire, right? Yes, and next to him is Honorable Fenhance Kyotasobora, who is a member of the UPC, that is Uganda People's Congress. All right, so I'll start with the mayor. Let him be able to introduce himself.
Thank you so much, Elijah. My son, I have also a son called Elijah.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
Yeah. Good evening, viewers, and the panel. Kyotasobora, Elijah, and my colleague in the machines, and all those who are viewing us and listening. As introduced, I'm Emeritus Mayor and the Pastor Joshua Amanyire Kiiza. I want to thank God for this evening and welcome you to this show. God bless you.
All right, thank you so much. I like the aspect of pastor because the discussion we are about to have is going to necessitate a lot of pastor.
Okay.
Yes. And let me get to Honorable Fenhance. You can be able to introduce yourself for people that are watching.
Thank you so much, Bon Elijah. Good evening, viewers. By names, I'm Kyotasobora Fenhance, a farmer, an activist, a development worker. I like politics.
You just don't like it, but even participate in it.
Yes, I like and I always take active participation in politics. And I would say that tonight, glory be to God, who has enabled us here, enabled us to be here with the Pastor Joshua Amanyire, and one time a colleague in the Uganda People's Congress. And I belong to the people of Uganda.
Okay.
I work for the people of Uganda.
That is
I
Uganda
believe in
People's
the people
Congress.
No, the people of Uganda. I believe in the people. And I believe in working for the people. I believe in being by the people, for the people, and in the people.
Okay.
So that is movement.
No, it can't be movement. That is UPC.
We welcome you to NRM.
Thank you. But yeah, of course, NRM is a subset of UPC. That one is
back in the
crystal,
history.
that is crystal clear. NRM is
including you, grandchild of the old and about to die man UPC.
All right, gentlemen, we shall have that.
Very strong youth winger.
That will be a conversation of another day. All right, our viewers that are watching us live on Elkem TV, of course, this show is proudly sponsored by Victory Bija Hotel. You can reach out to them for accommodation, conference facilities, bar and restaurant services. For those that have events, you can be able to use their grounds for events. And also, for those that like the sauna, you can be able to reach out to them for sauna. They are located along Ntuha Road, that is in Masindi town. So earlier this week, we've had quite a number of things. Previous week, of course, now the Sunday that is beginning the new week. But we're going to dive a little bit into the conversations or the things that have been out there this particular week. Let me start with you, Honorable Fenhance. Yes, we've had quite a number of issues that have come to do with the iron sheets of Karamoja. I'm not sure if you are in that position what you could be able to do, but also we cannot start this conversation without talking about that. What do you make of all this side of the iron sheets?
a lot has been talked about the iron sheets of Karamoja, and I think that is just a very small issue out of the very many issues that we have had in this country, relating to corruption, relating to theft, relating to impunity. And when we had just come here, and we are talking about the same, and the Emeritus Mayor, His Worship Amanyire Joshua, just made a comment that whoever is involved in that saga, to be honest, should just resign. Should just step aside.
That easily.
And to save people's energy, to save people's time, to save the integrity of this country,
and
to
also
save the
resources,
integrity,
by the way.
Resources, save the integrity of the cabinet, save the integrity of the fountain of honor who appointed them in that position. They should just step aside and apologize. And I do appreciate the position that the minister for Karamoja has just taken. And the other time she apologized. She said it was a mistake, I made it, she apologized, as simple as that. And she's just waiting for the verdict. But I think the best thing should be following the apology, she needs to step aside. About that issue, Elijah and people who are listening to us, I have heard very many people giving different excuses. Like, I did not apply for these iron sheets. I applied for, I found Muzei Kasaija Matia, our man from Bunyoro, the man of the soil, that he just found the iron. It is not him who found the iron sheets in his compound.
The iron sheets found him.
But the iron sheets just found him themselves in his compound. To me, I would state that one. I would say it is such a reckless statement. How can iron sheets for Karamoja region just find themselves in his compound?
What does that
as in Kibali? No, he stays in. He said even in his compound in Kibali. Whether he stays in Karamoja, whether in Kibali, but he said in my compound in Kibali. That, to me, that is a very reckless statement, and he should be the first person to resign, because one, he's the minister, he is an old man.
You say something about the minister. I don't know, usually he has said a lot of statements. We have seen what he mentions about Uganda's economy. But specifically
about specifically on that, one, he's an old man. Two, he's a Christian. Three, a minister and a senior minister for finance. And I think a personal friend to His Excellency the President. And an OBI, I think, or Wantaro, whatever. But for him to just wake up and say, iron sheets found themselves, I did not apply for them, iron sheets just found themselves in his compound. To me, that one was bad enough. If we found iron sheets in the compound, the responsible person, why couldn't he ask where did they come from?
And
a donation.
I'm thinking there is a security at his home.
Exactly, a donation. He said his assistant said they have donated the iron sheets for you from the OPM. Why couldn't he ask why the donation? Donation for what purpose? What the source? He was here, poor man. For me, I want to assure you, if you woke up very early in the morning tomorrow and you find hundreds of millions on your account and you don't report that man and you don't engage the bank, you will be treated as a criminal. And these are the people who have been involving in money laundering, and now they have even moved into property laundering. They have been involved in money laundering, now they are moved into property. Right Honorable Kadaga, she vividly and confidently tells people that yes, I asked for those iron sheets, I was given 250, then at a later stage I was also given 250 to roof or a school and a health unit which were blown up by wind. How do you say that when you are a responsible person? These iron sheets were for Karamoja. If they were for Karamoja, why do you misdirect priorities?
Right.
Why do you misdirect priorities? That is misuse of office. That is influence peddling. That is not corruption. That is first class theft. That is first class theft.
Honorable Fenhance, let me get shortly to the mayor. Mayor, we've had quite a number of issues of the likes in Uganda, and more especially it is a very, very keen thing to note that we've had a lot of issues from the OPM, the Office of the Prime Minister, before Nabanja and before the former Prime Minister. We had the issue of the Gavi fund, the Gavi and stuff. Now today we're having issues of the iron sheets. Is it? Should we say that the OPM will lack?
Even in Baba, you had an issue of Temangalo. Yeah, I think. Thank you so much. I think our country is losing trend. Sanity is depreciating. Is getting polluted because the iron sheets are meant for Karamoja.
We can pull the microphone down a little.
Karamoja, because of the disaster that is prevailing. People are poor, and in fact not only iron sheets, but also there were goats, which were also meant for household income. All these goats were never given to the beneficiaries. Others received one he got. You can imagine a he got. Was it for Easter or what? Because so
they are preparing them for Easter.
Because they were meant to be given many goats per household. And two, the office of the Prime Minister is the source of all these problems. Now, the origin, the genesis of the iron sheet and goat issue emanates from the from the Prime Minister's office. Some of these guys have made those careless statements because they are confident that they were given, they didn't steal. Now let's go back to the Prime Minister's office. Does the Prime Minister know
who got
the beneficiary, who the beneficiary of the iron sheet and goat was? The answer is yes. Who? Karamoja. Now, how come you give Masindi? The chairman said he received 200, the mayor received, the members of parliament, and now the ministers receive, others received that went to roof their own poultry shelters. Kadaga goes to, says going to roof a school, but she's not, the school has its own docket where it falls. The Minister of Education. It is the Minister of Education who should have wrote to Prime Minister requesting for INCs to go and work on a school, not Kadaga. Kadaga is the Minister of East Africa. So you can see the mess was in the office of the Prime Minister. She could not manage the resources and its distribution. Now, these ministers who go to the iron seats, because when I find children eating, the young ones, the infants of 4 or 5 years, and the house girl brings me food, which is meant for the young children, they are 8, and only 2 have received food. Now the house girl brings me food, which is meant for 3 children. As a sensible adult, I would tell her, please, give the food to the children because it is meant for the children. Now, how can a minister or ministers and members of parliament come out and say, I found iron sheets in my compound? Were they brought by wind? Were there no deliveries? Of course, they must have been signed before.
Okay, and then on the issue,
and then the Minister of Karamoja herself, who knows what happens in her region, also goes to misappropriate.
On the issue of signing for the iron sheets, do we lack checks and balances in the office of the Prime Minister, or it is just it's just a messed up system? Because who issues and who is supposed to get, who delivers, you know?
That was a planned and a coordinated misappropriation. Planned and coordinated. The Prime Minister's office must have had a list
of beneficiaries
of the
we call them
illegal beneficiaries.
Yes,
and there were means of how to transport them, and they were received and signed for. That is another.
Okay,
because the Prime Minister's office should be held accountable.
Okay, moving forward as we close this particular conversation, what next? What next? What are the recommendations that should be in place to see that maybe we have a recovery?
Recovery should be made with penalties. Recoveries with penalty, because these people are supposed to go to court. If recoveries are made with penalties, they are supposed to write their letters of resignation. They have acted with impunity. And we don't no longer, the moment you dishonor the office given to you by the public, by the state, then you better resign. You have had many people, many ministers outside. A democratic government, when people mess up, people resign. Those people should resign. If they don't resign, the president should force them. They should have forced resignation. Because it is a mess.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, the mayor. Honorable Finance, you want to say something about the iron sheet steel?
In fact, what the mayor said is very correct. But where he has disappointed me is that if they don't resign themselves, that the president should force their resignation. He should disappoint them.
That is forcing.
Yeah, he should disappoint them. And I wanted to give a summary.
You see, I think one of these days we are going to give up on things of resignations and then censures and stuff, because what happened to the Honorable Passis, what happened to the likes of Muhwezi, you see these things, we talk about them but they never get to life.
Exactly, that's why we are saying that the president needs to take action. That's why all this shit goes back to the head of state as a chief executive officer. You have given a very good example of Passis, is it Passis Namuganza? The parliament censored him and the president is and the president is sitting back. Was it in 2006? Muhwezi swindled the billions of money. I have a summary here for health, and Mukula Sam Kutesa, they were censored, but now they are back in cabinet. I think around that time, the money, that was 2003, he had swindled the 1.6 billion. By then, our national budget was around 70 trillion. And for him, he's swindling 1.6 billion. And he was brought back. When you look at the summary of the finances which have been stolen, money which is meant to buy, to procure services for the citizens, money which is coming from the pockets of citizens through the taxes they pay, and you see a few individuals stealing this money, like in 2012, Minister of Finance paid 400 billion to ghost companies, to ghost farmers, which did not 400 billion. This information is according to the Auditor General's report. It is not our thing. In 2006, Global Fund 600 billions, part of which the Prime Minister swindled. Amama Mbabazi.
Comes back to the country.
Then in 2003, 1.6 billion. You come to 2011, identity cards, 205 billions were stolen. 2006 again, 20 billions for TriStar cloth making in the UPDF. 2012, we lost over 262 billions in a pension scam. 2009, in NADS, we lost 2.7 billion. 2008, 1 billion in Temangalo. He was talking, and so many others. Basajabara, 169 billion. Bicycles for their chairpersons, 5 billion. All those monies have been stolen in this country, and we just look on. And we have the executive. We have the head of the executive. I think this time around, the chief executive officer, who is His Excellency the President, needs to bite. He should move his commitment of fighting corruption and theft from the word of mouth to action. Whenever he stands, he talks about fighting corruption, but he does not bite.
But the other day he did mention that even if they are corrupt,
my question is,
they still invest in the country.
My question is, the son of the judge is the murderer. The son of the presiding judge. What do you expect the judge to do?
All right, maybe that
now
an answer for another day. You see,
because this I was saying, the speaker confessed to have also been given.
Yeah.
Now, speaker is the chairperson, the presiding chairperson of the Parliament of Uganda. Now, in which direction does he rule? Does she rule?
In favor of what? Or
yeah, when she's the beneficiary
okay.
of the saga. Now, the president, we are not told. You never know. You could have had a lioness share. Lioness is going to his people. I don't, because he doesn't need them, but he going to his people. Yeah? Now, when you call them and say, President, can you act? Then you are going to get issues. Yeah? And that is what I'm saying. If the son, if the murderer is the son of the presiding judge, you will not get justice.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're going to get. We shall come back to that conversation maybe another day. I wished we had discussed about the NSSF saga and stuff, but maybe we can have it another day. Yes, some of the headlines that have been coming up this particular week, of course, the week that we are closing this very day and starting another day, in Masindi district in particular, we've had the CAO, or the chief administrative officer. Yes, the being sent out of the
council.
With the council, yes, by the speaker. Maybe, Mayor, we can have a highlight about that and what happened and what follows.
You know, when the wind rotates around the garbage,
it has to fly.
It will one time exhume the unseen to be seen.
Okay. It opens.
Yes. So the wind was blowing around the garbage. So we are now trying to see what was being covered by the garbage. Speaker comes out and reads what he wrote to CAO to respond to. In my opinion, if the speaker wrote to the CAO was not objective to come to council and begin answering verbally. If you get a communication in writing, CAO should have come with a written report. In fact, that report should have gone to the speaker of the office prior to the meeting, and then also give a copy to the chairman, and the chairman shares it with the executive. Then the leader of government business, who is the vice chairperson, should have been given time to read that report. Or if CAO was called upon, she should have referred to her written report, but she did not have a written report. So on that matter, she did not act objectively and professionally. Because in a council, when you are called upon,
you see, but the speaker has all the rights to preside over the meeting and also be able to take appropriate action.
The speaker was right. The only thing may be
the process or the procedure.
I think he used the rule of procedure, but he was emotional. And I think because of the too much pressures he had put on the CAO, who was not responding. And I think in his communication, he mentions CAO overlooking and not respecting So it means that kind of impunity had hurt him. Why every time I write, she doesn't? Even in the council, she never came with a written report. When Speaker wrote to her, it is good manner if I write to Fenhance, she answers me in writing. Don't call me on phone because I had the phone to call you.
Yeah, that
but
is right.
I decided to write
and
to
also
you
for purposes of
record keeping.
records, yes.
Yes. So I think the Speaker was right, and the cow should check. And what the Speaker did to chase the cow out of the council, he acted within his powers and debatable powers. And the cow is not untouchable. People think cow is untouchable, we are going to lose government service. No. Cow is not even a legal advice. I mean, a legal person. She is a chief executive who advises council, but is not the legal person. The legal person is the Solicitor General.
Okay.
Yes, Solicitor General is the legal person that advises legally on these councils. The issues raised, cow was very much aware. And they were not issues of 2 weeks or 1 week. They are issues of 6 to 9 months and beyond.
So he actually she had more time to be able to to respond.
Yes, so I think the Speaker in his understanding was right. What people don't know, Speaker did not chase cow out of her office. Speaker suspended. You not even dismissing. Because when you dismiss somebody does not come again, you suspended the cow from that council sitting, pending a positive and a positive response from the cow to the issues raised. Because the Speaker did not raise his personal issues, and the issues raised had been discussed in the previous councils. Now the councillor to come out and distance himself from or herself from the Speaker, I think that one is also a sign of impunity, because what the Speaker was raising had been discussed and passed by the same council. So they were only waiting to they were coming to council, I think, for approval, but they had already discussed them. So if you are a councillor and say, for us we don't know what the Speaker, it means you went, because the district is crying, the service delivery is poor. Now Speaker comes up to raise issues of service delivery, cow not giving,
and then the person that would be actually
the councillors that would come up and support the Speaker are saying we are distancing ourselves. Now, I think this is either poverty or
also fear and
no, not fear. When a technical person comes up and these are 38 people and says give them 100,000 each, that is 3.8 million. People go celebrate because they are going to have Christmas. Okay. Yeah, but we are selling our district. The only thing I advise the Speaker is probably to use the right intonation, to be sober, because the Speaker in his capacity when he is in council, even if he whispers and say, Joshua, get out, I will get out. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to shout. Yeah. So he just will go out. So that is why. Now again, I see another problem. The one who has been on radio is the chairperson, NRM caucus. The 38 members of the district council, 37 are NRM. It doesn't require a chairperson caucus to go on radio and tell people the rot in your council.
Yeah, that's not true.
You are supposed to get your members who are the majority, sit with them, because even the chairperson in the district council, including the Speaker, all of them are NRM. Take them aside, go have your caucus, sit with them and resolve your issues. Now, when we go to the chairperson district, his role is the fatherly role. In such a kind of circumstance, immediately after that council, he should have convened a meeting between cow and Speaker
Just to make sure they
reconcile.
They
harmonize their positions, and then immediately a few days later call people for the council.
Okay.
Because the issues tabled were of matters of importance. So the chairperson should do his role. Speaker did his role. Cow should have instead, if she didn't have any report, what we do, I'm experienced chairperson, should have said, Mr. Speaker,
maybe in another
give me a week or two to come up with a comprehensive report. If the speaker after that request acted on the other, negatively, then the speaker should have been blamed. So Cow should have had that audacity of saying, I request for 1 or 2 weeks to come up with a comprehensive report about the issues raised. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Fenhance. Honestly, we're going to get in today's conversation because the issue of Masindi.
I just want to be very brief on this.
Brief.
Very
30
brief.
seconds.
Yeah, because one,
all right,
our district has come from far. And we are tired of that kind of Orunguru Rotutamire. And Orunguru rotating around 2-3 people. Cow chairman RDC, cow chairman RDC, speaker, district council speaker, what?
Actually,
now
this
time
headline.
It is cow chairman RDC R1. Now the district council speaker is but the whole issue which I'm looking at, one is power struggle. These people want to prove who is what in the district. That's why sometimes you hear the district council speaker calling himself a district speaker. No, we don't have a district speaker. We have a district spokesperson, and that is none other than the chief administrative officer, who is the district executive secretary. The district council speaker is a chairperson of the district council, and he has powers over the district council to do the legislative role, the oversight role, the representation role in the district. And then even the chairman, when I listened to the district council speaker this morning, I think he was right. There is, according to him, there is a cocoon of 3 people, which is overpowering every other whatever. Trying to make some people to be the owners of this district.
Okay.
People should restrain themselves from owning our district. That's where the problem is. And I even heard the speaker say, what I have been overhearing in public, that we have a chief administrative officer, I don't know the truth of it, who is that arrogant, who does not respect other senior officers, who attacks them, ordering people to call him or to call her a man, even calling people by funny names, such statements, if they are correct, I mean it is bad. And I think they need to come together and harmonize their positions. What we want is the services. If they don't give us services that we require and the money keeps on returning to the ministry, then we shall mobilize the populace in the district and we do the needful. All those people are answerable to the population of Masindi, and we know the monies which have been returned because of the incompetencies of our senior leaders, the people in the administration in senior positions, and being caused about who is who, fighting for power, struggling to reposition themselves. That's where the challenge is. They need to think otherwise.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, the Honorable Fenhance. You see, such conversations, when they come up, honestly, we need to dig deep. I think maybe the next weekend we can dig deeper into this whole thing of the district and see how to really bring some of those people accountable, and also just to make sure that we have that discipline, the discipline of the district and these answers. All right, now we ought to have these conversations because we couldn't keep them. For our viewers that have been waiting for today's topical discussion, we're going to be looking at the Anti-Homosexuality Bill. All right, now for those that for starters, this bill, I think it was started up that is in 2009, by David Bahati.
Enacted into law.
Yes, yes. That was in 2000, probably 2013. And initially it was called Kill Gay something. Kill, was it Kill Gay Bill? That is how it was called. That is in the Parliament of 2013. Currently, that is last week or 2 weeks ago, this bill was raised again. That is by the Honorable Asman Basalirwa, and it was brought back to Parliament. And we also saw in the same time the President of Uganda, that is President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, he signed on it. That is the anti-homosexuality bill. So I'm going to start right with the Honorable Mayor, His Worship, the anti-homosexuality bill. Where does it live for the people that claim it is human rights?
Thank you. Recently we had a meeting with the human rights at hotel at Country Inn. Let me go to homosexuality. It is a sexual attraction or a sexual relationship with persons of the same sex. At times it is called the homoeroticism. Now, and there are also other related behaviors which are not natural.
Okay, of the same sex.
Yes, like masturbation, men licking women's private parts.
Okay.
Women entertaining using their mouth to swallow men's male organs. Such a kind of thing.
But maybe someone will tell you that is the best way they can.
No. You know, and then biblically, when you look at in the Old Testament. In the book of Leviticus chapter 18 verses 20 to 26 and Leviticus 20 verses 13 to 16, and then is in the New Testament you go to 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verses 9, Apostle Paul addresses them, and Romans 1 verse 26 to 27. The Bible is very clear on homosexuality. It condemns with the highest order of punishment, which is death.
Okay.
That if any man meets with a fellow man, that person should be stoned to death. If a woman goes with an animal, which that one we call bestiality, should also be killed. If a woman goes with a fellow woman, that one also, which is a lesbian, should be killed. Now,
and it even says this, even after killing,
you ban.
Their sin should follow them.
Yeah. So, it is trying to go. It's not natural at all.
Yeah.
If you can see a dog, a male dog, and not going with a male dog, a cock and not going with a cock, how dare that a human being do that? Bana abajungu kwanti bazomunde omanya barahura bano abajungu bazene bagamba otayisihana n'omukazi atakiswahili ne otaswahilwe n'omulamula above 18 bagamba omwana wa myaka 17 bwarabyama nawe ayini myaka 17 ne miezi 11 ne ebiro 30 etakaje myaka 18 age defilement otalienda mukabandi hati ebyo bibi abajungu abalesere ne batugambira ebintu ebyo nubayize kutugambira ngo omusajja n'omusajja bagende babyame hamu. That is very unfortunate. Now I wanted to say something. Ebintu bine bikiro bengi bikatandikira ombasirikale, soldiers on the front line, learners, the borders, policy institutions like faith centers, amakanisa, amaramizo, poor economies, with heterogeneous culture. Manyine ense bebaina heterogeneous culture which is not homogeneous. Like Rwanda, they have a homogeneous culture, and Korea and China. Here ours is heterogeneous. Baganda baine byabo banyankole babacholi tulao twenda kavuyo kalao. We are surviving each one on his own. So there is a weakness. Our cultural structures can be broken. So hati
so is this about the culture, or it is about human rights?
Yeah, human rights have human rights have bases. Number one, the basis for human rights is culture and religion.
Okay.
Yes, because human rights is a God-given right. It's not that Museveni akatobusingi singe butuwe baruhanga. Yes. So
there is no individual that is going to come out and
if our culture is saying ngo omwana itahano bunyoro omwana atabuyise kitini sana nyina mojo na ihe kofira omusikina ateza amaju hansi. It is our right to demand for it. No ndakutera kiboko tozaga na police mukutera kiboko abukola yutera, because in our culture you must nitokorora. Even the Bible, most of the Old Testament, abantu kibata Amanyire, most of the Old Testament is the Jewish culture. That's what I'm saying. Even religion has its base in culture. The Jewish culture, the Roman Catholic is purely the Roman culture. That's why it's called the Roman Catholic.
Okay.
Yes. When you look at the Muslims, it is the Arab culture. So, if you take root in Bisaka's faith, it is basically the Kinyoro culture. Bisaka byakora byona nibina bakabalega bakozera abachuwezi abatembuzi. So his root of his religion is in the Bunyoro culture. So every religion has got its roots in culture, and the culture must also respect religion, because religion regularizes the culture. So hati tukwantu wada homosexual tukutandikira ha culture tugenda na dini hakuwa a constitution ya Uganda ebiragiro baitu byona binemihama omudini no mu buhangwa. So ekintu kyone kikwakaliza obuhangwa tikiri constitution.
You see, habaho there is this allegation that dini yeturume sazi ne kaletebwa abajungu. Yes, and most of the people will tell you that I cannot go to church because this is something that has been brought up by the Western culture for Africans to be organized.
Now,
so if there are some people that are really saying now it is a human right, where does it leave we who are following?
Omutunzi wa mata it doesn't necessarily mean ngwa inakuba na yero mbira bukwa kutuna mataga kwera. You can be black na tuna mataga kwera. So the deen, it was not theirs. I believe this faith is not theirs. This same faith is now turning against them. We are using the same Bible against them. Can nobody buy the printing King James version? Yomukama Yakobo Wabungereza King James. It is turning against them because that means a deen is not their design. This is divine. It is not their design, but it is divine. Now hatika angaruka kankirwaho. Now ataba
rundi takagarukiraho onaribema yakangendo mwa
bayina atandikira lingwenda kunankano nitakagarukiraho. Ebintu bine bindi tukurabya homosexuality. Ati tukurora ekintu kikuzire ekiyenju tunu mutukiro amuhanda kiyengere kyonga tumanye kikatandika kita. Ebintu bine bina roots. Bina roots. Abantu bagenda ne developinga opposite sexual behavior. Bakubateraga n'enkinzo zo kuhindura characteristics zawo olugombo saijao. Yes, hati ebintu bindi kandi kina nursery bed mukoro emiteji bakagitanya nursery bed. Now number one is the dressing code. Abajungu bakataka kidesigninga dressing code. Nosango mwana iyo muzaino genda guliro mwana wa myaka 16 muisiki no mugura aka blouse aka baby mukundi show
jwekeno enkwanzi
magurago nosange bero biraheru nyetegereze omwana nagenda mu kanisa mukelezia omwana musiga dasibire braids nibigwire kimwe nyuma kuno kyonka tosaka kisanga muzigiti tosobala kusanga omwana musiramu moja sibire shoka ganda muzigiti bakutera mabali no kuondera yo kiswagi ayo nkugambira abasiramu tosobala kikolera yo kyonka itwe of course bakatuliki na nezine we libro tumagakize kikazi yes nosanga abana basubire ebyomo matu omwana ajoyere damage nwahimbira bible ya pastor etegereze omwana moja asigire eminwa
omojo kandi kusiga eminwa
na pastor ajoyere fitting wena ajoyere njegere wena atayenda bine perfume bine bya babazazi babine bya bafumu hati no kakusa now where are we hati nijonga mbilengu hati ejo ezozona nasare baby hati yo butukwikaho abantu kusanga nibahindura naki hati kangaruka amuramo gwenyini this kind of homosexuality is one of the tools of neocolonialism abantu kibatamanyire abajungu bakuhadwa naki habwaki abakini bagamba mwamtakikiriza tutujja kubaho obukonyezi ni wabakiri mutu hada nyonyize ngambire nyize wauti nkulia no gabo bawira hano otalika kusamba hano kimaze kwenda kundisa obutu abakini ompabba kuli okwenda kunyita so hajija kurola abasajja bano the western economies and the allies want to wipe out the black race bakatandika with the lab aided epidemics and pandemics zalemwa bagaruka hanjuza bagaruka habulemu bagaruka zukuna kabebenje bagaruka mu mbinu bya corona bizire bintu bingi balengero byalema hati bagama now ebola remere corona remere bakaletana kabebenje baleta nebiroire bingi hati bagamba kumara okimu African race mpora family planning remere doka abasajja tubankana jenge bagenda abasajja that is termination of reproduction timuliki wala kuzara no musiaga neno musiki hati in a period of about 60-70 years tujja kuba tuba maziro bona so that they can regain this plan etakalino African continent kiziga kya Africa abajunguki kubaruma because it is full of resources it is very fertile bokuli bayijora inete bayina na okurara bakuraranga na mugongo nke byana byembwa so umtikiraga nimtegereza ngo wakiba kuhadwa bayina a strategy. It is a very 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 long term strategy to wipe out the black race. But what are we saying? Ngutwina kwemera tuhakanize such a kind of act. Nita bakuswara kandi nkwenda kugambira abana bange bali hano kambete abana bange bamanyire kimu policy institutions ezikukirizwa abantu bakwija nibagamba Amanyire Kyotasobora Amanyire Kyotasobora tibakuja nibagambira homosexual bagamba tukwenda otutungira oyinesomero ngwe tukwenda kukonyera tibakuza kitu kene kya homosexual nibaga tukwenda kurambura esomero yani bajani bale rambura nibagenda nibakuwaye nibagamba tolezero yeta gwesomero yatukwaire milioni 10 eno somero abasajja barongi bano nibatwana address yawo hanyuma emyezi ene batesi bagamba somero yawo omu tukwetagira kukonyera abana nka 8 abali kubi otungire aba ojuma 30 40 nabesiki 40 tujja kubasasura nugamba kirungi muno isomero lyage nibaja kubasasura kamba ini ngadagada nabana bakutonga buli kiro banugenda garuka abana nutandikiraho nibatandikira ati hanyuma yo mwaka tukwenda abana abo oba tubasindikire muno arabegesa enkola yekitebe kyayitu personnel nibamwate tukwetaga oturolere motaye tuvengerema abasomesa nko omurundi babiri abarakoro ba metroni kandi tukaba traininga niba watuwara ne traininga for 3 months oja kura ngo bakamutwara Germany ali Denmark akuruga yali musiyaga senior akwikana yombakana enjia kalina mukuguza musajja gedengo abasajja bakampa dola bayabeka bakatunga abanywani kuno ati sente zebisiyaga hati no kwasa domtwe yabayisiki ono mukwase yabo ojo hati ni bagende batandika kukolesa abana
stani
na rubata nibatandika no kuba tumazeere babo tugenda kubasasura ugambe muzeere wa atafayo kusasura sente tugeko musasura sente muzeere na handikane baruha yokusima abo kuba abasajja bali bakola ki bakumusasura. This is how we are going on. Okura amakanisa gayizigano nagatamanyire Bible hano masindana aro mwana yangambira aba mutwire bine bikana kanisa bikubutuka bino ulaka kumuka nyowe manya hizo 20 pastor nyowe ni manya ni prophet manya ni nabi wanka gasia habo kuba invite we have nyowe chairman of pastors of fellowship abo abantu batatumanyiki bagenda gandi barugoko nibajene babazo Uganda bakakubaza Uganda akajware ebijwaro bikumyanga sana ne bakuba kwa hoyi isongo irisi Najini bajuwane MCP abaserikali ba Denmark eno kusanya ya wabandi ndakugambye nagenda ataka bine bikote biraire bino ebya Vasco da Gama ebya makopolo nibagende bahuwa abantu bona mahano hati ekanisa zigenzere ekanisa zigenzere amasomero gagenzere abasirikali abakuru abakagenda Somalia yabo nabo bagendera ine abazani ba mipira bagenzere abazini nchokura abazini bakagenda heru bakuha order oyina kujwara otino obukwa abazini abo nibajwara kubi. It is not that they want to do that, but they are doing it on the order of their sponsors.
But by the way, you see last week
no kumunyogera stage no mukanisa ngwenda gamu mtano kama lirikino okuba mukanisa ni wamala kuteraniza omusajja n'omukazi pasa nagamba hati mumaze kuteranizibwa munyogerangane isazara nyine zara abana basande school balali norangu bantu kuba kunywagana neminwa nibasane embwezi kurabo muruhiya no kaguza what kind of society are we going through. Kunywagana is very byantu byanyibo mukisika
hati it is in the public
muchachi pasa lagamati munyogerangane.
You see the white community will tell it is a normal thing. It is to them. Let me get to honorable
right to them nyobonye nindola abajungu bana nibaswera abajungu eba bikora babani benda kusisa itu kionka bokuli yeyini nabitu babikora
lekangaruko omukuru Fenhance. Thank you so much Mayor. Honorable Fenhance, we've seen the president did mention that the penalty, the penalty omuntu engaging in homosexuality rundi kuterana kwa abantu bano of the same sex, it is until they are in position to give birth. Until then bainakuba nibaikara munkomo, that is the life imprisonment. Now this is the question, is this bill discriminative or puntive in nature? Because you see, someone will tell you that we are comfortable the way we are, and then other people will say to kijumira. Is this bill, the anti-homosexuality bill, discriminative in nature?
Mr. Elijah, before I come to that, there are 2-3 things that I want to talk about. One, I want to appreciate the old man. He has been talking with a lot of passion, his worship the mayor, about the vice. And it is a vice that is eating us up very deeply. And it calls an effort of everyone to fight it. 2, you talked about the president, they use what term of signing the bill to turn into an act? Assented to the bill. He has not yet assented to this bill. The bill that came, that he assented to, it was, I think, in 2013, brought up by David Bahati as a private member's bill. And it moved very quickly, and it was passed into law, and the president assented to it. And very shortly, it was challenged in court, and the court quashed it. And I wondered why the president this time around did not influence his courts of law. Because on other issues, especially the political issues, there has been a lot of political influence peddling right away from the State House. But this one, it moved very quickly, and it was quashed. So as we talk now, we don't have any anti-homosexual or gay law. It is not there. What is happening? Honorable Asmani Baswalira was given leave by Parliament to bring it back with some improvement to the floor of Parliament, which has not yet tabled. But the leave has been granted to him to go and prepare it. The beauty of it is that the president is more than ready to receive this bill again after the Parliament has done its job. Secondly, the Speaker of Parliament and the Deputy Speaker of Parliament are also eagerly waiting for this bill to come. Because the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Amanyire, is just saying we are waiting for that bill, and within hours it will be passed and submitted to the President for ascending. Then we have seen the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Tayebwa, engaging the international communities over this in the African Union, in the Commonwealth and talking about the preservation of the African cultures and telling these people that Uganda is not anyhow ready to take it up. We appreciate it. We have seen the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda condemning it. We have seen some pastors condemning it. But on the bad note,
but of course we have Ugandans that are for this, because over
exactly, that's why we are saying
25,000 Ugandans.
Exactly, and that's why it is a serious vice, and I think that's why it was even raising the emotions of.
That is why I'm having the question. Is it part of discriminative?
No, it is not discriminative. It should be across the board. It should be for Ugandans, because this is a very bad vice which is against our culture, which is against our norms, which is, why should you go for the Chapanyumas when there are very many women, beautiful women here, young and old, they are selling themselves on the streets. You want to produce, now you go to the wrong address, like the president says.
But you see something that is surprising, those people will first of all give birth and then they get into the vice.
No, giving birth, no, it is totally condemned.
They are beginning with the younger ones.
They are beginning with the younger ones. In fact, they are targeting the younger ones, our children in school, in primary. If I can give an example, just recently, in the secondary school in Usoga, parents bombarded the school. They wanted to withdraw their children because they found, they discovered, learners reported to them that they caught one of the female teachers playing sex with the younger girls in school, and there was a lot of chaos. In fact, it is the police which sorted them out. But you can see, like Joshua said, they are being planted in churches, they are in worshiping centers, they are being planted in schools, they have a lot of
to
money.
make it look okay.
In hotels, they are giving money, they are even in government, the musicians are being given money, even in government, and it is the rich people who are getting involved in such a...
We cannot skip this conversation. The Mayanjas, that is Dr. Chameleon and the brother being on stage and they are kissing
each other,
and yet they have this kind of influence.
That is symptom number one, and to make it is symptom number one.
But you see, he comes out and apologizes that
he apologizes to the country.
It was excitement.
It was excitement. If you get excited, you kiss your brother, you kiss your mother, and in public. You kiss your mother-in-law and in public.
Okay.
You know, when God was creating us, He gave us different parts for different purposes. The earth is for defecating. That other part is for sex. And even within that part, they can say it is partly used for urinating, but there is a specific part meant for urinating in that female organ. Not for that. The mouth is meant for eating. Now you begin using it for sex. Why do you challenge God? In fact, like Mr. Joshua says, this one might be a biological weapon. Because if I come for you, for the Chapanyuma, how do you expect me to procreate? I'm very happy about my children. I have 7 of them. But if you go for that, how do you produce? How do you continue with your lineage? I think we need to pull up our socks. We need to get together. We need to fight this vice. Wherever we suspect, and I think I want to call upon the Parliament to expedite the process of making this law. I want to call upon the President to eagerly wait for it and assent to it. And this time around, I want to call upon him to influence the courts of law in case somebody goes to Parliament to challenge it, to court to challenge it. And by the way, the grounds upon which they challenged it the other time was a very weak one, because lack of quorum in Parliament. And do you know what happened when they were going to pass it on that day? Most members of Parliament were bribed and they did not go there.
This time, we want the Speaker and the Clerk to Council to publicize a list of those who have absconded, who have not attended the Parliament, and then we shall use it as a ground to judge them as pro homosexuality.
But you see, they could have other engagements. And
No. Their worker is in parliament. Why do they get into other engagements when there is such a serious bill? We pay them. We heavily pay them in tens of millions per month. Then why should they go into other engagements when there is that serious thing, which is finishing up Ugandans? Okay. You get it? So this time, the other time they were procured, and they did not go there, and shortly after, others ran into courts of law, and even our courts, they claim that they were caught up by the written law. Then even the president kept quiet, and but this time around, please, our children are getting finished, our old women are getting finished, our whatever in schools, especially these big schools. You take your children to school, you remain at home very much worried, you expect to get grandchildren, you end up missing out, and it is a very dangerous thing. We have been seeing people posting some practitioners of homosexuality with their intestines out. People are putting on pampers.
They are rotting.
They are rotting. In fact, I will come to the idea of was it Afande who said that the government should pass a very harsh condition. If you go to hospital with your intestines out, when you are pushing out like nothing, as a result of homosexuality, they should not give you treatment. You can't die. Why do you engage into that? Were you raped? If you are raped, then report, and they engage the culprits of the rape.
Right.
This is a very bad practice.
So yes, thank you so much, Honorable Fenhance. Let me get to the mayor as we get done with this show. Meanwhile, we have some comments. Matter of Dennis is saying thanks for the show. Then Trevor is saying very impressive topic, and then I think we have those for now. Let me get to mayor. What is the role of the church, and how can it be able to engage in this homosexuality bill for it to be able to pass?
The role of the church, number one, let me begin from the top. We have the Joint Christian Council, GCC, Joint Christian Council. They can engage the president and engage the speaker and the other members of parliament. We have different umbrellas. We have the umbrella of which I am a regional coordinator is called the National Alliance of Pentecostal Churches, NAPAC. We have NAFBAC, we have Buffet, we have Miracle Center, and we have another one called what? Those are some of the Christian umbrellas in the Pentecostal fraternity. Then we have the Anglican, we have the Orthodox, the Seventh-day Adventist, the Roman Catholic, and all those. Now we can get together and demonstrate. We may not go on the street, but me, I'm organizing a demonstration, a peaceful demonstration. Very soon I will let you know, so that will help me to mobilize. But we can demonstrate our sentiment. Yeah, we can meet. The Muslims did it in Kampala and even here. We tell the public. We go on media like this one. Okay. You can engage us. Can go to radios and educate our people. You know, the religious leaders, people have faith in them. The Muslims have faith in their mashayikh.
They believe.
They believe in them. So our role now should go and sensitize people. We sensitize people about or against, not about, because about would mean supporting it, against the evils of homosexuality and related vices.
You see, talking about the evils, it means there are also some goods. Could we just
no, the evil of homosexuality. Okay. And then they call them what? The parliament at times invites some stakeholders. Yes, the speaker should invite some of us.
Society and,
yes, we go and speak to, and also have something to say. In schools, religious leaders, those days when it was made, abantu abarevura ndabajaga masome buli kyakatano ubundi buli kyabalaza deka buli mukuru abamadini abamaramizo barokole bagende omasomero mu primary mu secondary n'aba secondary bona nabo batuha akaire ibyo gamanya abana baitu bali busy deka batuheki obwire tugende tubaliza abandi batakutaka ni bageta piasi piasi then aronene ya patriotism society. Let us use those opportunities to speak to these young and innocent Ugandans. Kandi nyoweki abana bana balode spoiled. Nyumba inengamba is not to kill them,
but
to rehabilitate them. Because those days we used to have reformatory schools to rehabilitate those. So we don't want to lose them, but we can get them, treat them, but we rehabilitate them. And in fact, in the process of rehabilitating them, atitwe nka Christian Life Church, tuina bana bayingi hali makerere kavula hali aba pasa senyonga yehireyo omakanisa agandi no bishweke bindi basisikalire kimu. When I saw those people I shed tears. Amabunu kunu gwani gasana genkobe nyetegereza gamyuke kandi obu nibakolesebwa abantu abebitinisa abantu ababitinisa. So abana bana atoga mbege baba
atowe kitinisa kwani kikyalo
ante batukweta ate bwana bali bayima mabati mali muntu kuyiba mabati nembuzi nembuzi.
It has been nice or what?
Hati nyumba ini saba nti abana bano tubakwate tuba identifying egonda hano mtawuna hano baro arono mujungwana akabayizira hano cyacu Uganda ya mubingo ya mugaruzayo mukumanya kabayo kabalegao no bakamugaruzayo batakwetegeza programs. And I was happy about the church step saying we don't understand your programs. Abana balesere kubatekaho what is your agenda, what is your program,
what are you for?
Kandi abana bandi kusanga bayine byoma matu abojo bayine kyoma kimu mukutu, which is a sign of homosexuality. Church of Uganda anu yagamba kwa tukuwetaga you are good and others please babyo mukanisa no. So ati nikyo maini saba ati ite
nitumaliza
tube let us organize ourselves. Ba bishop ba pastors tuikale, we can also demonstrate. That is number 1. 2, na ba media batukonyere but to have free radio programs. They must be patriotic. Abakuwa kintu kikwata alitwena obalane basaba kwa programu RDC ya kubaza amioga
etali
abantu bakulia kubaza PDM habaki batatoa programu nayo tukabaza abintu ebikwatagana nabo mezo bomuntu nyetegeiza ama radio ma TV then
ni kwa nyuma muntu ogwagenda goborole kurunga programu
hanfu buli MC alakaba rufu buli muntu wena alakabe biro mukoro go rufu kabe imamu kabe bishop kabe reverend kabe pastor should have the audacity of condemning homosexuality in strongest terms. Ijomba ekyo onda abanye mukya kusabira ebisembo byabagole. I could not live before I condemn homosexuality.
All right, Mayor, tusibula bakuturora murundi gwe
abakuturora nabatulirize amabara Emeritus Joshua Amanyire kiiza moto mwiruntu kubagondeza obusingi ba mukama Ruhanga kandi kuwasaba mutweteranizoho habule mbunu obukurwanisa omuze omubi ogwastani gukujja kumara abantu baitu nokumara abantu abana baitu nokuwerekereza abantu abalakizinga kya Africa ogwa homosexuality kuliye ebisiyaga ronde bakwetaga obulyo lwenyini babite ebisusunga nabwe cyo mutukonyere abamama mulekera nogura abana baite ebigoyegoye ebikubaletereza emizegyo mulekera kukiza abana banyu kujwara kubi no kwekora kole ebintu abibiri yabo ebikubaletera emizegyo abandi bakujja kuitwa abantu baba suspectinga kuba nabo bali bebisiyaga abo byebakwekora mibiri yabo. You know, the way you design your body is a communication. The way you dress is a communication. So bulicho ekyokora mubiri gwawe nekyo kujwara kiba kine kigambira abantu. So be careful about the way you dress and how you design your body. Thank you so much. God bless you. But I believe Ruhanga ja kutukonyera naba bana baita bali basisikaire tekatubeheyo and we reform them so that we can have a better Africa. This time not Uganda but a better Africa. God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much, the Honorable Mayor. Omukuru